Amelia Earhart was born in Atchison, Kansas in 1897. She took up aviation at the age of 24 and later gained publicity as one of the earliest female aviators. She is the first female pilot to fly alone across the Atlantic Ocean. Being one of history's most prominent figures in aviation, she disappeared over the Pacific Ocean in 1937 while trying to fly around the world. Despite multiple searches, no trace of her or her plane was ever found. On 20th May 1937, aviator Amelia Earhart and navigator Frederick Noonan set out from Oakland, California on their eastbound transcontinental flight. Little more than a month later, they reached Lae, New Guinea, having flown 22,000 miles and with 7,000 more to go before they reached Oakland again. However, after departing from Lae, they had to fly another 2,500 miles before they reached their next stop, Howland Island, to refuel. US Coast Guard cutter Itasca, which acted as a picket ship supporting Earhart's world flight attempt, waited there to guide Earhart for proper landing on the tiny island. But Earhart never arrived on Howland Island. Noonan and Earhart lost contact with Itasca somewhere over the Pacific Ocean amidst challenging weather and faulty radio transmissions. Their fuel supply was also running low. Despite extreme efforts to locate the plane, which ended up being the most expensive air and sea search in American history up to that point, there was no sign of Earhart or Noonan anywhere. On January 5, 1939, 18 months after they disappeared, they were officially declared dead. It was concluded that Earhart and Noonan had run out of fuel and crashed into the Pacific Ocean and drowned. But is that what happened? Many possibilities have been debated and millions have been spent searching for evidence to find out what really happened to Earhart and Noonan. One of the theories is that they reached an uninhabited island, Nikumaroro, where the aircraft wreckage had been discovered. In 1940, British officials retrieved a partial human skeleton from a remote part of Nikumaroro. The bones were measured and concluded that they came from a man. After many years, TIHAR, the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, analyzed their measurements in 1998 and claimed that it most likely belonged to a woman of European ancestry, of around 5'7" to 5'8", same height as Earhart's. In 2018, a forensic analysis of the bone measurements conducted by anthropologists from the University of Tennessee in cooperation with TIHAR showed that the bones had more similarity to Earhart than to 99% of individuals in a large reference sample. Another theory suggests that Earhart was taken prisoner by Japanese as they believed that she was a secret agent for the US government and she was spying on Japanese-occupied islands. This theory argues that Earhart and Noonan were forced to land in Japanese-held Marshall Islands as they could not reach Howland Island. According to this theory, the Japanese captured Earhart and Noonan and took them to the island of Saipan, and later they died in custody. Locals from the Marshall Islands have shared many stories like the American pilot lady was kept in custody in Saipan in 1937. According to a number of local eyewitnesses, a silver plane went down in Mili in July 1937. 2 Caucasians were said to have survived, of whom one was known to be a woman. The locals say that the aircraft was put aboard a Japanese barge and taken away. The plane and the 2 survivors were first taken to Majuro, then to Jaluit, and from there to Saipan. In one of the video clips of Oscar de Bram, former congressman from the Marshalls, mentions that his father took him to the dock and showed him the plane on the back of the ship. Bilimon Amaron, during the summer of 1937, while employed by the Japanese as a 16-year-old medical corpsman in Hospital Jabor, was summoned to a Japanese ship to treat an American man. Along with the American man, who was presumed to be Noonan, Amaron says he also treated a white female pilot for minor injuries, who is presumed to be Amelia Earhart. There is also this photograph from the History Channel that shows a number of people on a dock in 1937, along with two people who very much resemble Earhart and Noonan. Is this photograph enough to confirm the stories the locals say? The same photo also shows Electra on the back of the ship as mentioned by Oscar de Brum and Willimon Amaron. Josephine Blanco from Saipan states that there were two prisoners who were brought in and people who watched it happen were threatened. Josephine, however, shared what she saw. There are many witnesses who came forward and shared everything they witnessed. There are also statements from Saipanese who saw them in prison and tended to their wounds. Earhart is believed to have died in prison and the plane was burnt. Around 1970s, Irene Bolam, a woman in New Jersey, was claimed to be Earhart, who did not actually die in Saipan but was released and repatriated to United States under a new identity. However, Bolam denied these claims. Despite many theories and possibilities, despite the photographs, despite various statements made by many eyewitnesses in writing and on videos, Earhart's disappearance still remains one of the biggest mysteries of American history, as everything that has been mentioned and shown is not convincing enough to conclude what exactly happened to Earhart and Noonan. Earhart's incredible accomplishments and the legacy that she has left behind still is an inspiration to millions, from young pilots to even little children.